the middle. So I'm going to try to pick up where I left off. I looked at the recorded video and it got about right about here. So we were talking about the science center that's at Forest Park. And there are two sides to the science center. The main part of the building is on the south side of Interstate 64, which is what we're crossing. You see there's a little walkway that goes across the interstate. So you walk across the interstate from this side over to that white, what looks like a white hat maybe, is actually the planetarium. So we cross over into Forest Park where the planetarium is. So what we're basically at the start of Forest Park on the southeast side. What I'm going to do is fly down and see if I can find some other landmarks here. The ice skating rink, by the way, which obviously during the wintertime it's not going to have anything on it, is right there. It's kind of that spot right there that looks, you can see it just on the right side of the plane. And then we're going to come back. I'm going to try to find I think, well, I'm not sure. One of these areas with water has a little boat dock where you know those small paddle boats is what I'm trying to think of. It might be this one, but I cannot remember exactly. So they have paddle boating. Is it this? I think it's here. They have paddle boating right here. And over here, we see this is really beautiful to photograph where this waterway is. This is Art Hill. People go sledding on this hill where you see this green spot above the pond or whatever you call that water area. And this is the art museum right here at Forest Park. So we've got an art museum there on the north side of the park. You have the Natural History Museum, but right over here is the zoo. So the St. Louis Zoo is part of Forest Park, and of course we can't see it real well. There's a lot of trees, but you'll see the buildings here. This is a great zoo. I think it is still free of charge, although you got to pay for parking, which can be a bit pricey. So you're going to pay something whether you want to or not, unless you can walk over and avoid starving to death walking around. But a really great zoo, though. It's worth going there to visit. And the other thing that's here at Forest Park during September is they have a hot air balloon race. It's back over there on the east side of the park, and people come from all over to participate in the hot air balloon event every fall. And then you have a nice golf course over here, and of course there's plenty of hiking, running, jogging trails that you see all over, biking. And then we finally, at this point, get to the west side of Forest Park and we're done. So Forest Park basically cuts off here at this point, and you get back into greater St. Louis. There's another skyline. Let me just go over here that you'll see. By the way, over here, while we're here, let me just fly over. There's another university near Forest Park that is called, Washington University, or people say WashU for short. This is a really, I like the architecture of this campus. So what we're going to do is take a look at it. We'll fly over it. You'll see the buildings over here. And another great university here in St. Louis. And this is basically the campus from here all the way over to where you see the track and the baseball fields on the other side. Somewhere over here is University City, which has a number. It used to have a trolley. I don't know if they run the trolley still, but another great place to go eat. A lot of good restaurants there. And then over here you have what's called, oh, here it is. I jumped the gun. Here's University City, because I saw it identified on this marker. You see the marker over there. Let me see if I can just fly over it real quick. I like these markers. They really help you identify where you're flying. Is that you? That doesn't look like it. It says University City, but I don't see the I think it's on Del Mar Boulevard, if I'm not mistaken. I will be honest with you, I'm not real sure that's what I was looking for. Unless this is it. I know there's I don't know. I'm lost. It's much more difficult from the air sometimes to figure out. But keep University City in mind if you want great places to eat. A number of good restaurants. Then going back towards the south, I do want to point out this section of buildings. So this is Clayton, downtown Clayton, 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 Missouri. It has a really nice park just off to the right called Shaw Park, which is, I think, right here, yeah, because there's the pool. So this is Shaw, S-H-A-W, Shaw Park. And this is Clayton. My boss, when he came into town, he stayed at, I'll show you, a hotel over here called the Ritz-Carlton. It's on the east side. And also Centene, C-E-N-T-E-N-E, has their headquarters here. They are a Fortune, they're in the Fortune 20s. In terms of a company, they are a managed care, MCO, managed care organization that administers health plans for the government, at the state and federal level, the Medicare, Medicaid, marketplace, health plans. So it has a big presence here in St. Louis, but also has health plans all over the country. And I had heard one time 70,000 employees, so a rather sizable company. And like I said, this is Shaw Park. So what I'm going to do now is head this area, by the way, it's a little hard to see. I'm a couple miles from it. That's Brentwood and Richmond Heights. Just an area where there's a number of shopping, there's a lot of shopping centers and a few restaurants and a mall. There's a mall over there called the Galleria. I'm not gonna focus on that too much. I'm going to head up. This is Interstate I-70, or what? I'm sorry, Interstate 170. And what I'm going to do is follow this, and we're going to eventually, as I follow it, we're going to eventually run into Interstate 70, which I don't know. It actually runs through Indianapolis, Indiana on the east side. I don't know how far east it goes, but it comes through St. Louis, and I believe, well, it goes through Kansas City, Kansas, and I believe it goes all the way out to maybe Salt Lake City, Utah, and possibly even beyond that, although I think it stops there. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at a map. But the reason I'm going up this way is to find the airport. In fact, I see it already. So as we approach the airport, you see it up there, Lambert International Airport. That is the main airport for St. Louis, obviously. And one of the things I'm going to point out as I get up there, some of you may have seen a movie called Steve Martin and John Candy, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Really it's a comedy, and some of that movie was filmed here in St. Louis, and they have a couple of scenes that they filmed here at Lambert International Airport, because I recognize the top of the airport in that movie. So we're getting there. We're almost there, maybe a mile or so away. Try to get there soon as this plane will allow us at 85 knots. There's actually, a few years ago, there's actually a small tornado that hit the airport. I remember. Did some damage, which made the logistics challenging for a while in terms of getting people to their flights and people arriving. So here's the airport, but what I want to point out about this airport is those buildings that are in the movie. Oh, you know what? I forgot. They don't have those buildings. So in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so forget it, because I forgot that this airport is not modeled exactly like the actual airport. It's different from it. So I don't think looks like the tower is accurate, but let me see. One side of the airport has this terminal right here has Southwest Airlines has that side, and then there's a mix of airlines at the terminal here on the west side. But yeah, they don't have the buildings. I forgot about that. So it's not modeled exactly like the airport should be if it's going to be accurate. So we'll just have to live with it. So what I'm going to do is follow Interstate 70, which is the one I was talking about that runs out to Kansas City and possibly out to Salt Lake City or somewhere out there. I wonder if it goes into San Francisco. I think I'm not 100% sure. I didn't think to look before I did the stream, but So you can see the runway is rather long. It's taking me a while to get past it. But what I'm going to do is we're going to fly across the. What happens is St. Louis, there are three rivers that join together around St. Louis. You have the Mississippi, of course, but then you also have the Missouri River that connects and joins, merges, I should say, with the Mississippi River. And they call that the confluence, or the point where the two rivers meet. And then there's another river, which is the Illinois River, that runs down and joins and meets up with I think it's the Mississippi at that point. And that is around what's called Grafton, Illinois, Grafton. Grafton has a number of great restaurants. People go up there during the wintertime to see the bald eagles. It's part of what's called the Great River Road that runs up and down from north to south and follows the Mississippi, basically, and provides a number of scenic drives through several states. So what we're doing is we are heading. This might be 270. That 270, Interstate 270, loops around St. Louis. So if you pull out a map and look at St. Louis, you'll see 270. We have a quarry or something over here. And then keep on going here. This is Earth City over here, especially to the right. And it's an industrial complex. The St. Louis Rams used to practice out here in one of these facilities when they were here as a football team, and then we have some office buildings over on this side. And then we're getting ready to cross over, and we have a casino. I think this one is Argus. There's two casinos. There's one over here, right above my left wingtip. You see that building over there? That's a casino. And then you cross the river, and you have yet another hotel / casino. This is a Maristar, I believe. That's part of St. Charles. Let me see. See if that's, yeah, a Maristar. And this is St. Charles. So St. Charles also is a great place. It used to be a temporary capital of Missouri until they got Jefferson City up and going. When this first became a state, St. Charles was a temporary capital. Then they got Jefferson City built and set up to where they could run the government from there, and Jefferson City has been the state capital ever since. And that's about midway into state. But you see right here, there's a nice park area, and this downtown area right here is a great place to go eat, and also a great place to go during Christmas time. They have a number of activities going, and Lewis and Clark were explorers who went up the river all the way up into the northwest part of the country exploring. And so when you come into St. Louis, you'll see Lewis and Clark from time to time. And I know that they have a museum somewhere along the river here in St. Charles. The other thing that's interesting about this area is there is a bike trail. It used to be, so if you like cycling, there's several great places in St. Louis, Missouri, in and around St. Louis, including on the Illinois side. Several great cycling and bike trails. And there's one that's called Katy Trail, Katy Tra, well, you know, trail, Katy Trail, Katy, Katy Trail. And it used to be railroad tracks that were taken out, and it was converted to a hiking / cycling trail that runs almost all the way across the state of Missouri from east to west. And probably people who do it in terms of cycling across the Katy Trail takes them probably 3 to 4 days to cycle the whole thing, maybe a little bit longer depending on how fast they go, to get across the state. I suppose some, if they're really in good shape and they can cycle fast, although the trails are such, if you have other cyclers on there, you got to be careful because the trail's only so wide. But, and I don't know, it might be hard to see because probably, I believe it runs like this little white, see this white, what looks like a little white road here on the left of my wing. I believe that's the Katy Trail. And it's going to keep on running on down. And they have what we're flying over right here is a St. Charles, they have like an arena. I think it's called Family Arena or something like that, maybe. But it has a number of events that you could go to. And then what's going to happen is we are going to cross over the Missouri River in this case. And this is Creve Coeur Airport. I'm not going to land there. I'll probably land down at Spirit of St. Louis. Just go down that way. You see Creve Coeur there showing up on the point of interest marker, or POI. So we're flying over Creve Coeur Airport, and right beyond it is Creve Coeur Lake. We used to live right next to that lake. We've moved since then, but when we first moved to St. Louis, we started out in apartments at Creve Coeur. Up the hill there, you see there's a bank just beyond the lake there, and there's apartments and also residential homes, and then you end up there's a road called Dorset, Dorsett, that as you go along that road, it has shopping center, restaurants, fast food places. But this is Creve Coeur Lake, and if you look closely, you'll see there's a walking / cycling path that goes all the way around the lake. So this is really nice. And also they have a zip line there somewhere in the trees. We did the zip line one time. I think I'm a little too old for some of the activities we did along there. But the zip line was fun. It's something I had not done before. And like I said, this little beach area, you'll see there's a trail that goes all along the lake. There's a road, but there's also a trail next to the road. And you can walk or cycle that area. And that also joins up and goes over to where the bridge is. And you can then, actually, it goes over to where the Katy Trail is that I talked about that goes across the state. So that's Creve Coeur Lake. And what I'm going to do now is head along the Missouri. So what's happening here in this area, if I were to go further south, the further south and the further west I go, I start to run into the Ozark Mountains. So, for example, you see Mark Twain National Forest. And Mark Twain was a famous American author who wrote a number of books. And so his name, he actually used to be a Mississippi riverboat. They used to run riverboats with the paddles up and down the river. Now you have a lot of barges, of course. But he was a riverboat pilot back in the day. And I think the book that talks about that is his book called Life on the Mississippi. And I believe they had to memorize the entire length of the Mississippi River, which is hundreds of miles long. So it's quite amazing because they had to be careful about navigating, because some areas might be shallow. And they might run into, they snag the boat, and possibly sink it if they're not careful. So they had to be really good at what they did. And so he has he has a forest named after him here in Missouri. And Daniel Boone, who was a explorer I know he was in Kentucky for a time, came out here. He has, you go out to, there's some wineries, and Daniel Boone had a home out here as well in this area somewhere around Augusta, Missouri. And if you like to sample wine and again enjoy some food, you could go on what's called Route 94, which runs from St. Charles and then goes down this way. And eventually it crosses a bridge called Boone Bridge, which is not far from the Spirit of St. Louis, which has the identifier Kilo Sierra, what is you? Unicorn? Forgot. Sierra. That identifier. Unicom, I believe. Anyway, this is named after the plane that Charles Lindbergh flew when he flew across from America over to, I believe he ended up in France. I could be mistaken there, but he got across the ocean. And so this airport is in honor of him, although I don't know if he actually flew from this airport or if it even existed at the time. But either way, it is named in honor of the plane that Charles Lindbergh flew. And what I'm going to do now is land this, because we are coming in. I'm going to drop flaps. There's a number of shops, stores out here, including outlet malls and entertainment centers, and there's a Topgolf out here. This is called Chesterfield Valley. There are baseball fields and, again, a great place to go for food and entertainment. Make sure I'm lined up. because it's hard to fly outside the plane. And I'll probably use this airport quite a bit when we start having the live stream sessions that center around learning how to fly using the Cessna 152. And I hope to have the first session here in next couple of days, maybe Friday night or in maybe sometime in the weekend. I just have to make sure I get the material together, and then we'll start. So I'm looking forward to that, and hope that you're welcome to subscribe and join in terms of watching and learning how to fly. And then maybe I've been thinking about maybe we'll do possibly some sessions where we fly together. You have to have Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 to, or I don't do Bad Sim or any of those right now, but I have to think about it logistically and see what we might be able to do. But for right now, I did want to give you a tour, and I hope that some of you who, if you are, this is really the channel is really intended for those who are brand new to aviation, brand new to flying. It's not for those who are experienced. You will be bored if you are experienced. It's really intended to get those who are brand new up and running. And that's why I'm using this plane, because it's simple to use. It's not as complex as other aircraft. I say that for some of you who are new, it may not look simple. But anyway, we are going to start our sessions here very, very soon. I just wanted to make sure things were working before we did an official launch of the first session. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to pull off into the grass here just to end the stream. Let me just pull off here. And I want to, for those who may have watched, I want to thank you for joining, and I hope that you enjoyed the flight over St. Louis. Sorry the stream broke up, but it was a pleasure to do this and try out things with Twitch and the technology and make sure things are working. And with that said, we'll look forward to having future live streams here and get them going on a recurring basis. And for now, I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and week, and we will talk to you soon.